sorry we started late. Welcome to the Lab Zero panel.
Thank you.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Nope, I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. Thank you for knowing when to applaud.
Are you okay? Seriously?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
fine.
Okay.
I know a dentist.
Okay. So we'd like to just go ahead and introduce ourselves. We could probably start with Earl at the end of the line.
What's up? As you just, hey, hi. What's up? I'm Earl, designer at Lab Zero Games.
Here, keep it here.
Yeah, cut out Earl. I'm Peter Bartholow. I'm the CEO of Lab Zero. I'm probably not going to be talking much because I've got a cold.
I'm Alex Ahad, concept lead on Indivisible.
I'm Mike Z. I'm the janitor, but they have me run the panel for some reason.
Best in the biz.
I'm
Best in the biz.
what? Okay. I'm MARIEL. I'm the art director and lead animator on Indivisible.
Hi, I'm Brady HARTEL. I'm the UI slash lead UI slash graphic artist. Means I do the stuff that helps you know if your characters are dead or not.
Also, wow, I've been mispronouncing your name for like 6 years, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. Everybody does. Everybody does.
I'm Nick AHRENS. I'm executive producer at Hidden Variable Studios.
Hello, my name is Steve Cha. I'm an associate producer at Hidden Variable Studios.
Go ahead.
What's first?
Okay. So that's us. I think we can probably just jump in and start talking about the latest with Indivisible.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to? Here, you go.
Sure.
You go. It's your turn.
Okay. So we've been, I'm trying to remember all the stuff that's happened since last Anime Expo. It's been a lot.
Like a lot of the pre-production and a lot
Yeah.
of the production starting.
Yep. I mean, we finished pre-production, which is nice. We've actually started on real production, which is tiring. We were able to announce the Mystery Anime Studio finally.
Yeah, let's hear it for Trigger.
Let's hear it for Trigger. Yeah, so now we're in production, which means we have a schedule, which means occasionally we don't sleep. Actually, occasionally we do sleep. Yeah.
Mostly we don't sleep.
Yeah. We hired a whole bunch of new people.
Yes.
Environment lead.
Should we call
Yeah.
some of them out and have them stand up? Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, we got environment lead, Max. What up?
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's so good. Have you guys? Who here has played the backer preview at the booth? You guys are already seeing some of his and the rest of the environment team's super awesome artwork. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys are enjoying that. Who else?
I don't think they're here.
Nobody else is here. Okay.
All right.
Yay for Max.
Nice. Good job. You represent the entire environment team.
Oh, the other stars are
What?
The others are
Yeah. Oh, they're at the booth, right. Preventing people from stealing stuff. Yeah. We have a booth also. Come by and play the build. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I checked that off. Yeah. I mean, that's my job, so. Okay, cool. So I get to show stuff. Let's hope this runs. It runs. I'm
Spoilers.
Yep, that's okay. Spoilers are fine for this panel. So this is one of the test levels, and I guess one of the really nice things about being on this project is that we get to decide whether we have an in-game editor or not. So a lot of projects have editors as like a separate tool. Ours is in the engine, so I can like change the environment and it changes. Yeah. I guess, sure. So, oh great, I built something she can't climb. Sorry. There you go. That'll work. Yes. Okay, so one of the main things that we've done since the prototype, which was, wow, forever ago. Oh, also, he's the boss, so that's the actual spoiler warning. So one of the things that we've done since the prototype is we sort of, she still has all the weapons that she's going to have, and all of them still provide you with stuff to do in the world, but we unified them as one weapon set, so instead of choosing between axe and spear and bow and everything, they're all present when you do the things that you need to do. So some of them are uncolored, which is, you get to see all that anyway. Yeah, so bow is a completely separate button. You can shoot things. You can blow them up, as before. But instead of having to, wow, that's actually really cool with an echo. I'm gonna do that again. Yeah. Sorry. So we did a lot of playtesting, and it turned out to be really frustrating to switch between weapons all the time. So we did this so that as you go through the game, you just amass your one moveset, and it's a lot more fluid to do everything. Yeah, it didn't come up a lot in the prototype because you didn't switch weapons, but now you totally do. One of the other things that you can do is block in the world. He's not going to attack me, is he? So. Nope, don't worry, that's fine. Let's actually do game development. I guess that means I have to run it again. Game development. Go for it.
I just want to say how amazing it has been to be working on our own engine, because whenever we want a feature implemented in the game, or like the way something should, what does that sound? Okay. or you know, we want things to look a certain way, we can just ask our programmers to implement whatever it is that we want. And so we have a lot of flexibility in like the way we can make our game look. And part of the reason the prototype, in retrospect, looked so bad is because we didn't have all these these like graphic features that we have now. So
oh yeah, dude, shadows?
Shadow? No. Well, see, we were freaking out about shadows last year, but this time there's like so much more going on. Why don't? Yeah.
So these are the shadows from Skullgirls. Right. So this is what Skullgirls had. It had rotated sprites that fade out. Not super awesome, and totally don't pay any attention to the environment.
Yeah. Can you go to a more interesting level?
Yeah, I can go to Ashwat.
Yeah.
All right.
This level's so boring.
That's why I use it. It fits me.
And it loads fast.
Yeah, also
That's why
it
I
loads
like
fast.
it.
At least someone does.
Wait, is this new?
What?
These
the
updates?
editor?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is new.
I clicked it, right? Like I did click it? Okay. Then we must have gotten one of these. Don't worry, those are fine. Seriously, they are actually fine.
Feature, not a bug.
See? Everything is great. Yeah, so...
Rotate, wait!
What is with the... Rob, that's your fault. Oh, that's because old shadows are on, right. I was like, the big blue thing, why? Right? So if we turn that back, then now she looks like she's actually in the world and everything, right? Yeah. I take no credit for this whatsoever. Man, we should just add echo, like seriously? Isn't there a preset for this?
Shift the game with an amazing speaker system.
Yep.
It's a special edition.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about gameplay or should I talk about art?
Oh, you can totally talk about art. I mean, we have art.
Yeah, so this is kind of where the game is right now in terms of the way it looks. I think it looks, God, it looks so much better than it did. We're really trying to go for this like blend of 2D and 3D where the final result looks as 2D as possible, because I think our specialty as a studio is our character animation, and so we want to make the environments mesh with the characters. So we have Max, who has been doing an amazing job along with the rest of our environment team, really like fleshing out the world that Ajna and her friends, her crew, they all run around in. Yeah, they're homies. There you go. And yeah, I think it's looking so much better. You should go to the editor and turn the world around, so they can see what it's how it's actually
like
built.
in 3D?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you actually do that?
C. Press C. And oh no, you don't have a mouse.
I have a pad. Is that good enough?
Let's try.
All right. Good luck.
Oh shit.
Hey.
Remember, this is
Welcome
fun.
to the NC-17 Lab Zero panel.
Sorry.
Everybody on the internet, sorry.
Oh, for left click is left click.
I'm clicking left.
This is the part of the editor I never use.
Oh my god. It's not even. I think it actually froze.
No,
is
it
what's
didn't.
Really?
Did you kill it? Wow, you actually killed it.
Okay. Well, that's what happened. If you
Game
can get that
development.
working, I think you should show it because it's cool.
I think it's working now, maybe? Yeah.
Press, okay.
Press C, then what?
C, and then. Oh no. I don't want to do this again. Oh, there it goes. Yay! So you can actually see a little bit into how it's built, and it's basically we have all these like illustrated cards that we kind of round. We make into round shapes, so they kind of like as you run by them, they still have that real depth to them. And a lot of the objects are like full 3D. But I feel like this is really like getting us to that look we want, where it really meshes with the characters.
I'm enjoying this because I've never done this before.
Really?
Yeah. I don't do this.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, Max, I'm ruining all your work.
I mean,
right click.
Max, did you want to have a couple words about it?
You want to come on up? Come on.
Don't mind me, I'm just going to play then. One sec, let me do this.
How close do I need to get? Okay, that's pretty good. So I think one of the first things that we tackled was I had to get used to the editor. A lot of studios use proprietary tools, and I was really happy that they had an engine like this. Lighting was a really, really big concern, and for probably the first month or two, we were just speculating, like, do we really need real-world lighting? And I had to do a lot of quick iteration, a lot of quick tests, paint-overs of screenshots, paint-overs of paint-overs of paint-overs, to really see if real-world lighting was going to work for getting that sort of 2D look. I have a lot of experience with hand-painted textures, so I mean, again, it was just a lot of quick iteration. So I built the whole level out, mostly just world building and like moving everything around that was already there, and repainting a lot of the assets that were there, and the rest of the environment team also like repainting a lot of things. And then we changed the lighting again. And Mike was like, hey, let's use toon shaders. And then he turned on this thing, and he's like, that looks better. And everyone's like, yeah, that looks better. And I'm like, I have to change every single light in the entire map.
Sorry.
But it looks way better. So, yeah. especially this room. This was like one of the main rooms where we immediately realized how much better a combination of tune shading, a tune shade material on point lights as well as the global light worked with soft lights. So that room has a combination of both. And we were able to get that sort of like rim light on objects that, yeah, I just want this like everywhere now. But, yep.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. So some more stuff about gameplay, because the janitor does the gameplay. First of all, you can slide, which you totally couldn't do in the prototype. We tried to make it as much fun as possible because slide's not super amazing in most games. Yeah, it's super useful in this game. It also hits. Oh, also she has wall slide, which makes it easier to find out whether you can wall jump. She had the frames for that actually colored when we made the prototype. We just didn't get to it. The main other, I mean, there's been a ton, so it's actually kind of hard to remember, but it's also very hard to play at the same time. So like I said, you can block. Oh, come on, up. Come on, really? I'm down here. Oh, they can only do that one. That's right. Yeah. You can also, yeah. You can also, I promise, no spoilers. Yep. You can also counter, which is if you block at the last second. Oh, so I guess that goes into major things that have changed about battle. Let me make this nicer for myself. I love having debug menus. They're the best thing. You won't have them. All right, so nobody takes any damage. So one of the other main things that we did with battle is you can block at any time, even when you're out of meter, except you can't block that, so thanks, guys. Yep. It's a grab. You will probably be able to tech grabs. We haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, so you can block even when you don't have any bar. You can also just defend. All right, I'm not going to fight people with unblockable attacks for this. Come on. So you can, this would probably be more useful with sound. So let me put up the sound again. Yep. I'm prepared. There we go. Okay. So one of the other major additions is that you can just defend, which is block at the last second, which is like that, which generates a ton more meter than normal, and you take much less damage than normal, except for we're not taking any damage. I'm good at this. And you don't die. So even if you're on your last hit, you can see I'm taking, right, not that hard. It's harder than it looks. I just missed. But yeah, so people were asking whether there will be any kind of timing related part to defense, and there definitely is now. So you can still get through just by blocking with everybody, no matter what. Right? But it'll cost you all your meter, and just defending is much more useful. Let's see. Oh yeah, she has dash, like real dash that we didn't have in the prototype. I'm excited about this just because I wanted it for the whole time. But yeah, it's basically like Mega Man, so you can double tap or you can press the dash button and make her look dumb. Everybody does this, I don't know why. When you beat the boss, you still get, spoiler level 1, you still get speed boost, which totally isn't called that. As part of the new graphics tech, we have different color shadows for it that do cool stuff. Oh, I guess I didn't have the bow yet. Yeah. Some other stuff that we added, and I can actually show this off because you can get it in the build. There are actually 2 hidden bosses in this one. For those of you who found the hidden boss in the first one, it returns. But yeah, so when you beat the second hidden boss, you earn Helmbreaker, which doesn't have sound yet, and also obviously is temp name, which breaks floors. I'm totally not going to show you that because I want people to find it themselves. Dive kick is not granted, but is part of her ability set. So like I said, all the weapons combine in the same way. So I have everything, so yeah. Pogo across spikes, hang across ceilings, dash attack. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to play and talk at the same time. Oh, so I can do this, yes. One of the other major things that we've been able to do is flesh out different mechanics for different characters. So we sort of started on that. Dar, that's not Dar, that's Dar. If you don't hold down his attack button, you get a regular combo. If you do hold it down each time, he makes earth pieces that do extra damage. See? His super and stuff isn't in yet, but that's basically his gimmick. Ginseng at the bottom is the healer. So if their neutral attack normally is heal, but if you stir it up, then the next time you heal, it's more, much more. So you can do that up to like 6 times. So it depends on what you want to spend your actions on. Also, heal also hits because why not? The other major part of their mechanic that isn't done yet is their up attack, which is they pick up items from the ground. You can throw it again to get rid of it. But if you pick one up, which obviously there isn't one yet, depending on what you randomly get, if you then mix it in, you get things that won't be heals. So you get status effects, debuffs, that kind of thing. So they're a pretty interesting support character. Kadira, oh, Kadira, come on. Has most of her basic attacks, but absolutely nothing about the way that her mechanics are going to work yet, which is defense-based. So she's able to block everything, even the stuff that other characters won't be able to block, like magic. Her supers, which, like I said, don't exist yet. I'm sorry. I can only do so much janitorial work at once. Will defend other characters from being attacked during enemy turns. So if you don't want to have to block, you can spend bar with her, and then you don't have to block anymore. We also have, that was the wrong button entirely. And yeah. Oh, that was another major thing that we did, which Brady really helped with. So you probably noticed if you played the prototype that the battle UI is completely different. So there's no more little display in the corner. Because one of the main pieces of feedback that we got was people weren't looking at the characters at all. You were just looking at your action bar and seeing what was available. So now we have pips on top of you and also HP display on top of you, which they can, yeah, I'll let him do stuff for a while. And the thing that doesn't work is the one that he picks, of course. Thanks. It's in progress. But yeah, so this is much more useful because you're looking at the actual battle screen. You don't have to figure out whose HP is whose. You don't have to figure out whose attacks are whose. It's all presented much more nicely and doesn't detract from the actual game. We have a hit counter that is not in yet, but will be when we put this out. Yeah? Why? Oh. See what? Okay, sure. I guess other, oh, so since the graphics programmers aren't here, I talked about shadows already. There's lighting. I can totally find this. Right? Oh man, really? I'm gonna do that again. Yeah. We have the same lighting we had on Skullgirls, but it also applies to the world, and it can come from sprites, so you can see she's lit by the moat. And then if I pick it up, not.
I didn't remove that light.
Oh, you didn't remove the extra one? Man, you're killing me. But yeah, also in terms of gameplay, I should mention that we're trying to make her as fluid as possible. So you can slide with down and jump, but you can also slide with just down while dashing. And if you do it while you're running, you keep running. So, yeah, from slides. Yeah. Oh, you mean in here? Cool. Okay, I've been given permission to show off incompleted characters. And who's third?
Actually, Brady, did you want to say anything about the UI?
Mike said some of it. If you get back to a battle, though, real quick, I
Yep.
can go over it a
I'm
little
going to
bit.
be doing that anyway. Go for it.
So yeah, like Mike was saying, if you saw the original prototype that we put out, the battle UI was stationary foremost, which led to people just looking at those bars instead of the characters mostly. So the big change here is the HP and the timers follow the characters now instead of actually distracting you from the actual animation and everything. And the big thing with this is to actually try to make it easier for you to follow what your characters are doing while also knowing exactly how much HP your characters have. We also worked a lot on the actual representation of what an action bar was. We went through a lot of different ideas, and in the end of the day, we came up, currently anyway, with the pip idea, or the orbs. As you can see, the way they fill is actually like a clockwise timer, which seemed to lend to making it easier for people to tell how soon their pip would be filled. And then you can see clearly just with a glance, because they glow now, things like that, where you're looking at it, but you don't have to actually stare at it. You can see it at the corner of your eye when one of the pips is full, so you don't have to necessarily stare directly at the UI. Just things like that, trying to make it easier and quicker for you to tell. Because we originally worked in fighting games, and when you play a fighting game, you can't be staring at the UI, and that's kind of a idea that we've carried forward here, where we're trying to make it so it's quick and easy to tell just where you are and how your characters are, and where your enemies are as well.
Yeah, it has to be accessible at a glance, because usually you're not looking at it.
Especially because the battles are very fast in our game.
Yeah, the battles have actually been sped up a bunch. We did a couple other things that I'm being reminded of because I didn't have to pay attention to saying anything. The main thing, so the way that enemy turns happen has been changed up. Enemies attack not all at once, but in order. So if a bunch of enemies are going to go at one time, see, they all go separately. Also, it gives you a lot more warning before they go than it used to in the prototype. And basically, the time while your actions are filling up is a lot faster than it used to be. Sorry, I'm trying to block and it's not working out. Yeah, so I went through some of Nuna and Vasco and Phoebe here while Brady was talking. Sorry, Brady.
That's okay.
But yeah, so a lot of their attacks aren't hooked up yet.
But they still look cool.
Yep. So Nuna has, her neutral attack is actually Plant a Sprout, which is a trap. So I'm not going to say it. Yeah, like 3 people laughed, that's fine. So you plant this wherever she is, and if the enemies run into it, then it sprouts and stops them from doing whatever action they were going to do. She also has a launcher. I don't think she has any of her supers in, even as temp. Vasco obviously can shoot you, because it would be kind of weird if he couldn't, right? And then he has trip and multiple shots, and jump swipe with shots. So his mechanic is you can tap the button extra times for extra shots, and depending on what ammo type you have loaded, which is supers, you get different status effects.
I love his down animation where he shoots downward. That looks
Yep.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks so awesome.
If you recognize fighting game references in these, most of them are not accidental. So Phoebe's pretty cool because she's obviously ranged, right? But she's also a grappler. So launcher, backbreaker. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that because it was fun in testing. Also, Hugo is amazing, so. One of the other major things that we did is how you do supers. So in the prototype, you could only spend however much meter you had. So if you had level 3, you only got a level 3 no matter what you did. The idea that we had wanted to implement but didn't have enough time is you do your action, and if you only press the button once, you get a level 1. If you press it more than once, you spend extra bars. So you can actually decide, I can give myself more meter, so you can actually decide what level of super you want to do. Right, depending on character. It's probably better with, no, don't do that. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, okay. Okay. As the last thing here, it's probably better with Razmi because everything's better with Razmi, I guess, yeah.
That's a fact.
So, level 1, that was the wrong button. I'm great. Level 1 is still heal. It will actually be drain, so however much HP the enemies have will be distributed through you. Level 2 will actually apply status effects. And level 3, which I need meter for, wrong person. She's not gonna be able to do one. Yep. Good job, Phoebe. Thanks. You're retired. And level 3. So the interesting part of this, I mean, one of the things that we try to do is provide strategy, right? So Razmi has 3 attacks, neutral, up, and down. Neutral and up don't make her go anywhere because they're magic, and why would she have to? Down actually makes her move over to the enemies. So if I give her 3, sorry about this. This is like 2 seconds of click.
Stop
Right.
apologizing.
Okay, no more sorries. So if you use down attack, she actually goes over to where the enemies are, right? And with that, sorry about, there we go, all right. With that, level 3 actually hits up close also. Right, so if you want to figure out how stuff works, we give you a lot of that. All right, that's it for janitorial work.
Okay, so next we wanted to introduce some friends of ours. We wanted to introduce Trigger, who is working on our opening for the game.
今回、インディビジブルの、アニメーションパートを、ディレクションすることになった、吉成です。よろしくお願いします。
Hello, my name is Yoshinari Yo. I have the honor to direct the animation part for Indivisible. Pleasure to meet you all.
同じくはじめまして、トリガーの方でプロデューサーを担当します堤と申します。よろしくお願いします。
Again, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Tsutsumi, and I will be the Trigger Sides producer for the animation part.
Hi, my name is Will. I work for Ultra Super Pictures and Titmouse, and I'll be producing the opening stateside.
Something you wanna? Is there anything we should say?
雑感でいいの？雑感でいいわけですか？見た印象で喋っていい？そうですね。本当にゲームシステムはバルキリープロファイルによく似てるなと。ですね。覚えられる？まだ大丈夫。ですね。本当にバルキリープロファイルを作ってたのがもう20年近く前で。その時はもう本当に 2D ゲームが死にかけてた時代なんで、それが20年ぐらい経ってもまだ作られてるっていうのが不思議な感じです。
So I was looking at your guys' prototype, right? And it really reminds me of Valkyrie profile. And when I was involved in that project, it was about 20 years ago. And already at like 20 years ago, the 2D gaming industry was like dying out. So it's refreshing to see a 2D game being made still today.
そうですね。出てくるキャラクターがものすごい多そうで大変そうですね。
And you guys have a lot of characters, so it seems like it's a lot of work.
私もそのバルキリープロファイルの時は、ものすごい数のキャラクターを半年ぐらいで書かなきゃいけなかったので、その時の悪夢がよみがえります。
So when I was working for Valkyrie profile, I had to make a ton of characters, and all in about half a year. So it's bringing back some bad memories.
今回はアニメーションだけなんで楽でいいです。
But this time, I'm only responsible for the animation, so hope it'll be a better experience.
非常に見た目に美しいゲームで、本当 BG のグラフィックの美しさは非常にいいなと思いました。
But I personally feel that it's a visually really appealing game, and especially the background looks really great. So I'm looking forward for it.
あとですね、今までゲームっていうとやっぱその西洋的なモチーフが多かったんですけど、非常にアジア的なテイストがあるのがすごいユニークだなと思いました。
My personal take on games is just it's usually Western. I guess the design's very Western, but for Indivisible, it's got a very Oriental taste, and I thought it was quite unique.
このグラフィックのテイストをなんかうまくアニメーションに落とし込めたらいいなと思います。
So I'm hoping that I can, keep that flavor going on in the animation as well.
非常になんか、書いてて楽しそうなので、楽しんで作りたいと思います。
And the art the characters looks like, they're very entertaining to draw. So I hope I'll enjoy this project.
以上です。
こちらで、こっちに来てちょっとこっちで触らせてもらったんですけど、すごく日本のゲームの印象に近いなというふうに受けました。
So I checked out the prototype as well, and it really felt like it was like a Japanese-made game. So hopefully we'll have a good synergy going on.
私も90年代にすごく日本のゲームをやってた人間なので、バルキリープロファイルはやってないんですけど、聖剣の 聖剣伝説の音楽の菊田さんもこの作品入っていただいているということなのですごく懐かしい感じのゲームだと思います。
I too myself played a lot of games in the 90s, although I've never played Valkyrie Profile. I played, I don't know the English, Secret of Mana?
Secret of Mana,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm familiar with the music producer or music composer, Mr. Kikuta, and I hope that it'll be a great, experience working together.
なのですごく面白いものになるのはゲームの方もすごくテンション高く話しかけてくれたりとか、吉成さんをすごくリスペクトしてもらってるなと思いますので、その期待に応えるつもりで頑張ってアニメーション作りたいと思います。
And we do feel that the Lab Zero team, has got, a lot of respect for our creative Yoshinari. So we hope that we can, produce something that will meet their expectations.
Tatsu, can you translate for me? Can you translate for me? I'm just joking. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is like 2.5 years in the making, right, Peter? Yeah, getting about there. Now going into 3? Yeah. So yeah, I think it was, I've known Alex, Ahad, and Peter, and Mariel, and all of them for quite a while, and originally I think we were trying to do something for Skullgirls, and then trying to like collaborate together, and then, well, that kind of fell through, and then Peter was talking to me about their new game at the time, which was Indivisible, and so we decided to see if we could work together, and since I work for Ultra Super Pictures, which is the parent company for Trigger, I thought maybe it might be a good idea to maybe see if this could be an interesting project and a challenge for Trigger to work on. And then things just kind of happened, and all the parts came together, and it was almost like a perfect storm, right? So we got really lucky on this one because it just happened to be that Little Witch, they finished production on Little Witch, and so in terms of Japan, they have a schedule, and sometimes Trigger's 2 to 3 years on out, like already making stuff. And so we got really lucky that they were interested, Trigger was really interested, and they had time in their schedule to fit it in, and now we're doing it. And then on top of that, I was like, like we got the most popular studio in Japan, why don't we try to get the most popular, and then also like Lab Zero is the most popular like indie game here, like indie game company, and then I was like, well, why don't we just also throw in a little bit extra topping to that and add Titmouse to the project. So then, all right, awesome. So then Trigger also at the same time always wanted to work with Titmouse and kind of see each other as kind of like a counterpart. I don't know if you hear it, but you always hear that Titmouse is the Trigger of America, and then also like Trigger is the Titmouse of Japan. So then we decided that I approached Ben about it, and Ben was totally down, and everybody at Titmouse is also a fan of Trigger, so they said yes, and that's how we got it together.
Okay. Do you guys have any other words? Or Peter? Yeah.
Oh, should we say that we're starting tomorrow? What? We start on it tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say we're actually kicking this off tomorrow, since Yoshinari's in town. We'll be having a kickoff meeting at Titmouse, and basically the way it's going to work is Titmouse is going to be handling the storyboard process because we don't have the bandwidth to manage that all of ourselves, the international component and everything. So yeah, we'll basically be handing that off to Titmouse, but consulting and directing along the way. It'll take about 6 weeks to do the storyboards, and then it goes to animation.
Okay, everyone, hands out for Trigger. Thank you so much. We are so excited and so lucky to be working with them. I think this is going to be really, really great. Thank you so much. Okay, next we wanted to introduce our new voice actresses. Okay.
She might not be. Okay. Right.
Am I holding both of these?
Yep.
All right.
I guess I can hold one of them.
No, I got 3 now.
Yeah. All right. I have a thing. Oh no! Oh no! Why? Sound why?
Be there with you guys. I'm out of town. Hi, Anime Expo. I'm Tanya Gunadi. I play Ajna in Indivisible. I really wish I could be there with you guys. I'm out of town. But have fun and see you in the game.
Okay. I guess Christina isn't here, so I'll be Christina.
I get it.
You want to?
No, I don't want to
Please.
be Christina, but Christina is sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dang.
Also,
Con
Ben
flu?
Diskin is here.
Yes, she got.
Here.
Oh,
Have
sorry.
a mic.
Hi.
Is Ben here?
I have one already, so.
Oh, yeah. Christina got sick, so I got an email like really early this morning, and she was like, "You guys, I can't be there." I mean,
Okay.
this is the voice that I had in my head when I was reading it.
Right.
It was email, so but yeah, it was like, "I'm very sick. I'm very sorry. Have fun."
Well, okay. So I'll be Christina.
Okay.
And you'll be you.
Oh, okay.
Who is you?
My name is Stephanie Shea, and I do the voice of Rosmi.
Yeah. Which I apologize for in the janitorial demo. I turned the sound down, so you didn't
Well,
hear
I
that.
wanted to see. Normally, like I was sitting back there, and normally you could see through like the reverse image of the screen,
Mhm.
but then they have it blocked.
Oh,
So, like,
you mean it's professional?
yeah.
Yeah. we apologize for the non-shoddy nature of this presentation.
But I heard the reactions, and apparently, like once you get to level 3, things are very awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you actually totally sound like her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
you have that little like edge. I like that.
Well, it's also like I have con voice now
Ah,
because
right.
I've been
4
like
days of
shouting,
talking.
so it's like really like, and I'm like jaded because I'm like
Yeah,
so over it now.
So you recorded already?
Yes, I did.
How was it?
It was super fun. It was, yeah, it was super fun. I normally get cast as like sunshine and light.
Seriously?
And, yeah. Apparently I'm not exuding that. But normally I'm like, yay, Magica Girl. Whee, everything's, yeah, I'm the voice of Sailor Moon.
Oh, right.
But not like this.
She's the voice of Sailor Moon. Anyway.
Yeah, so it was really fun because it's like my dark side, and I do have a dark side.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed Magical Girl from any of this.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Really quick, is Pia here? You should come up. Yay!
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought we had 2.
I thought. Wait, you have an extra mic.
Yeah, come over here.
Is Ben
We
here
also have
as
a chair.
well? Maybe not.
All right.
Okay.
I'm still impressed by wireless microphones. So.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pia Shah, and I voice Kadira.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. I'm really bad at being an
I'm so psyched
MC.
to be here. I've been like having the best time in the front row. I've basically been videoing this entire thing on my phone, and I have like no battery left. But this is amazing, and like the experience of recording was amazing. Christina was amazing. This entire team, like, I have never recorded a voiceover before. I do more on-camera acting, and I was blown away. Like, everyone was incredibly professional, but also kind and sweet, and it's been so inclusive. Like, I'm glad, like, nothing against white blonde girls, I love them, but I'm glad that, I'm glad one of them isn't voicing Kadira, because that would be a little, like, weird, you know? So, I'm psyched, yeah.
So are we. You said everybody was nice. That's because I couldn't make it to the recording session.
The ones I met on that day,
Mhm.
you weren't there, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones I met on that day. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. They're the ones that we send out, you know. Yeah. So you'll be coming back for story voices and all that in the future. And I wasn't at the session, so I'm actually not sure what to say here.
Are you going to be at the next session?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be.
You going to try to be nice?
I'm gonna be there. I mean, sure,
I'm
fine.
really excited to be coming back for stuff because the day, I probably shouldn't say this, but the day of the recording, so I had really bad allergies because I'm allergic to cats, but I got 2 cats. And so I now have 2 cats, and I'm learning how to deal with them.
Oh my God.
So I was really scared that I was gonna like get fired, and I'm really glad that I'm not.
I mean, you still sound like you.
I do, and I was like, huh!
Yep. See, the interesting part would have been if you came in with allergies and sounded a certain way, then you would have had to come in like that every time, right?
Yeah, so I'd just be like taking my cats and going like this every day and then coming in.
Sorry, I'm seeing a conversing over there.
Side conversation.
Yeah.
That's it. You're out.
Yeah. It's the 4th day.
I know. It's the last day.
I mean,
these guys are up actually like really early for the last day. So
Yeah, this panel is
Thank
like
you
way
everybody
too
for
early.
coming.
Okay, yeah, I think hopefully next year we can have more of our VAs in. But we're like, it's been super amazing working with them. Like so far we've just recorded the battle VO stuff, but later in the year we are going to be recording all the story mode acting because we hit our voice acting goal.
Hell yeah.
So we will have everyone and lots more people back in the studio to record more lines. So yay.
Thank you.
Oh, I also wanted to say that you should know from our company that we involve the voice actors in like everything. So if you're somewhere and we're doing public appearances and you want to
I
participate,
will be there.
Yeah.
I'll just ping you.
Yep.
Okay.
Just talk to the Skullgirls VAs. They'll tell you what's up.
Okay, yeah.
So thank you.
Thank
You're
you
not
guys.
just involved
Thank
for
you.
one session.
All right, awesome. Woo!
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. I think next we can transition over to Hidden Variables so they can have a few words about how Skullgirls Mobile is going.
Who's got Skullgirls Mobile?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? So I'm Nick from Hidden Variable Studios.
And I'm Steve
Steve.
from Hidden Variable Studios.
So we got a couple things to show you today, but first we just want to say thank you to everyone for downloading the game. The reception has been incredible. It's going really well. We launched like a month and a half ago. You guys may or may not remember this, but we've been working on the game for 2.5 years. A lot of that was in secret for a long time. I guess if you count conversations, it's probably up to 3+ years now. So we're finally out. It's very exciting. Please play if you're not playing. It's super fun. And the reception has been amazing. We've been getting great reviews. Even Apple, the big giant company Apple, has been really happy and featuring the game, which is really helpful for us. But more importantly, the response from the community has been incredible. Every time we look on Twitter or on our forums or Facebook or whatever, it's just been the most heartwarming reception, and it's been amazing. And people have jumped in, and the community's been really helpful for feedback and helping us, tune the game and work on new stuff. Big thank you more than anything, and then thank you to Lab Zero for letting us play around in your awesome world. This has been super cool. The Skullgirls universe is incredible, and it's been super cool for us to dive in and be a part of that. So I'm going to hand it over to Steve, and we're going to talk about some new stuff.
So, there will be new stuff, I'm happy to announce. I haven't even gotten to the announcements, and this is already clapping. I like this. All right, so first, I want to plug our forums, which is forum.skullgirlsmobile.com, because this is where we tend to announce a lot of the stuff that's coming up. We've actually just posted about our upcoming update. It is an Eliza-themed update, so I take it you've heard of her. So Eliza, the improvements around Eliza work in a couple of ways. First and foremost, for those of you who already have Skullgirls Mobile, you'll be happy to learn that her relic will be available on Sundays, I believe. Yep. So after this update goes live, be sure to spend your hard-earned theonite and get all the Elizas. All the Elizas. Segment mode will now be extra awesome. We've increased like the combo ability possibilities coming out of her blockbuster. And we've also fixed bugs. We will continue to fix bugs. If you see a bug, report a bug. You can report the bugs at, again, forum.skullgirlsmobile.com. I think that's the last time I'll be plugging that. But maybe one more time. But because this is Anime Expo and because you are the best crowd ever, we're going to let you in on some of the secret updates that have not been spoken of yet. So later on this summer, we're going to be releasing additional prologue stories. So we'll have some background stories for the characters. I can tell you right now that the first two that will be released will be the origin stories behind Big Band and Peacock. So with these new prologues, there will be additional gameplay content, but there's also going to be some new art, courtesy of the wonderful folks at Lab Zero. And then, you'll get to see why Peacock is as cheerful as she is by diving into the creation process of who she is now. And I think that's definitely a big one. And I think we have an additional message from a friend, if we could play the video.
Number one?
Number one.
Number one. All right, you are number one. Let me hope I have sound on this time.
Every day, players across the world log into Skullgirls Mobile only to find that they can't play as the franchise's most important character, me, Beowulf. Players are unable to experience my bulging biceps, peerless performance, and rugged good looks. Look at this puppy. It doesn't have Beowulf. What about this crying baby? It wants to play Beowulf. But now you can help. For only... Huh? What? They're gonna put me in the game? Oh. Well, screw the sad piano music. Ow! Oh yeah! It's Skullgirls Mobile, baby! And I'm finally here. You're not Beowulf, I'm Beowulf. Get out of here. Hey guys, it's Kai. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it to Anime Expo this year, but I wanted to let all of you unruly wolfomaniacs know I'm very grateful that you've continued to support Skullgirls, and I'm so happy to see it finally get to mobile and finally include its best character, Beowulf. So again, thank you to all the fans of Skullgirls, and I think Skullgirls is gonna have a great time moving forward. I'll see you guys next time.
Good. I'm hyped. Yeah, do you want to do it? Go for it. Go for it.
All right. Oh, sorry.
Sit on down. Go for it.
All right. What are all these files? All right. Okay.
Oh.
Testing. Hello. Oh, hello. Hello. All right. I'll choose this one. All right. Can we switch to the display? Okay. All right. Here we go. Hopefully I don't. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. All right. I'm gonna hit the resume button. All right. This is Beowulf. All right. And while I play with two hands, so Skullgirls Mobile, if you're not familiar, features some awesome touchscreen controls. So you can swipe left to hop away, and then swipe towards your opponent to charge into the fray. Oh, sorry, Carol. All right, and so those are some of his basic movements. And if you tap, you're going to go into his light combo, and then you could launch Carol. Sorry. There we go. And then sweep and confetti. So, as you know, Beowulf wrestles. He's a grappler. So he's really good at throwing. But did you know he can also dance? More throwing. And lots of confetti. He likes confetti. Hold on. Okay, and so we have 6 variants of Beowulf coming up. This one looks like Riker. He's called number 1. And I'm going to show you a neat little combo with him.
I shamelessly designed all the puns for this one. I basically have been waiting 2.5 years for us to work on this character so I can do a Riker variant.
And so, let's see, throw in. He hides behind a chair because why not? And then this is his Wolfsbane. This is a rare character. This is a gold. It's a lot. That chair can put up a lot of punishment. And here's more stuff. And if you're a Darkstalkers fan, I'll show you that one move. She's fine. And you got this one right here.
Her fighter score is 91,000. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's fine. She's laughing right now. I'm not referring to my notes. I'm not. But in addition to all the basic movements, his character ability will be the hype system. No one seems excited about that. Okay.
You should be hyped for the hype system.
Yeah, sorry. So details on that will definitely come, but we have Beowulf on the display machines at our booth if you want to check him out later. And lastly, let me show you some cool cards.
And for hype, it's going to be a little bit similar to Sekhmet. It'll be kind of a character's unique ability, but not just ability. It'll be kind of like a unique way to play the character versus playing a standard character.
So
go ahead. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sorry. In addition to Cold Stone's number 1 and Wolfsbane, we also have Weekend Warrior.
You guys may get some of these references.
Oh, did I pass one? This one? Oh, Hype Man, based off the Alex skin. And then Cold Stones, why are you there again? Okay, and Underdog, which is the original. So he'll be out later this summer, so be sure to play Skullgirls Mobile and wait for him to come out and grab all of them. All of them.
Collect them all.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug. Yes, we have.
Hold on, wait. You forgot a.
I'm going to move out of the way while we also sneak preview some intro animations.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, new animations.
Yes? Did it work? Did it work? I think it worked.
Oh no. Oh, I also left the dongle over.
Yeah, okay, it worked. Cool.
So yeah, we're, as we talked about last year on the panel, we're working with these wonderful folks right here on brand new animations. And these are intro animations. Very celebratory wrestler style.
I'm sorry, I don't actually know how to make this full screen.
It still looks awesome.
I wish I gave you the final versions. These are done now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Well, these are what I got.
Okay.
Hey, they're done.
Woo! Thanks.
Already.
Yeah.
So Beowulf is coming later this summer. If you haven't played, please play. Tell your friends about the game. Your support, just like the original Skullgirls, actually lets us make more Skullgirls. We are a small team, just like Lab Zero is a small team. So I'm doing the plug of please play the game and support it. Yay!
Yay!
But thanks again for everyone that is playing the game. Again, the support has been overwhelming. We are actually, the forums have become so helpful that we are taking a lot of the feedback into very serious consideration. A lot of the changes we've made now and we're planning to make over the next few months are directly from fans. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned the forums being helpful. Is that forums.skullgirlsmobile.com?
That is forum.skullgirlsmobile.com.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you use QR or code Never mind. I was gonna make a terrible fighting game joke. I'm not gonna make it.
Okay. Okay. What's your joke? What's your joke?
Let's see. I was gonna say on checkout, if you use coupon code Fanatic20, you'll get 20% off all PDP products. Thank you. Yeah. It's okay. I told you I was bad.
Okay. I think that wraps it up for us here. We can shift over to some Q&A.
Wait.
Oh, no?
Thing I have to say.
What? Okay.
A mic or this mic?
We lied.
Also, isn't there a little bit of art that we wanted to share?
Oh, yeah.
Invisible?
You still got that? Yes. No one mentioned it because
I put it on the thing.
All right. Not SG Mobile. I didn't push enter on this. So this is some of the environment art, and I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
I've literally never used this program before, so.
Yes. So basically, if you could just keep it here for a second. So this is like asking us, or like we're asking ourselves, how close can we make it like look 2D? So that first tree was just kind of like a test to. It's a massive tree that we just scaled up really large, and we found that like making large assets really helped kind of sell the mood of like it's an ancient forest. If you can go to the next slide really quick. Again, we talked about lighting, tune shaders in combination with non-tune shader lighting with point lights, also global lighting, and being able to come up with some tech that allowed us to rotate the global light and not, it doesn't look too janky. Thanks guys for that stuff. Next slide, please. Thanks.
Half janky is what we aim for.
Yeah. This is an in-game shot of one of a desert zone, and I have a breakdown of how some of these assets are made. A lot of this stuff is very modular, and most of the textures in this scene and in this level are tiling textures. If you can go to the next slide. This is the same shot with the global light just rotated around so you could see some of the shadows and how much of a difference we can get just like changing the angle of the light, the main light in the level. And the next slide, please. So we start with like a really rough, it's a pretty fleshed out concept, and it was awesome. This was very helpful. This is from one of our outsourcers. And we just kind of, I show this to the art director, MARIEL, and I'm like, hey, like, how is this feeling? I kind of came in late to the game, so I have to like go through a lot of like forum posts and read through a lot of threads and figure out exactly where people were when they left these alone, I guess. And I just take all the feedback, I do a paint over, and then if you go to the next scene, this is more stuff where from some outsourcers that they kind of, this was super helpful. They broke everything down in these like really graphic shapes and kind of showed how we can make these things modular. And the next one, again, this is super helpful. There's some things that aren't solved, like exactly what the texture is going to be, and the fact that we have real lighting, we really needed to push some of the normals of some of the models for the tune shader to work really nicely. With these in consideration, if you can go to the next slide, I did some like really low poly block-ins with just trying to figure out composition to scale and some block-in tiling textures. Next one, I think this is just another block-in. Just testing things out, trying to figure out exactly how much detail to put in these textures. Next one, please. Another one. Next one. And these are some of the breakdowns of the textures that were applied to all the models. One of them is a paint over from an outsourcer that we work with. And these were the, after this one, Mike, please, next, thank you.
I hit it, I don't know.
So this is a ZBrush sculpt, and this was basically like we needed to create like really graphic shapes that weren't too noisy, that really read as rock when you put a tiling texture on it. So it had to have like a very kind of faceted look. So I sculpted these out, and then these were some more. And then this is how they came out with the tiling texture with this is just two lights in Maya, one fill light and one directional light. We basically just create low poly models and bevel out certain edges. And I think that's on the next. Oh, so this is the UV sheet. It's kind of weird, but it's like if you took a bear and you wanted to make a rug out of it. That's what making UV sheets is for everything. So I just make rugs out of everything. So this is just some sand. Yeah, this again.
I'm trying to guess.
Yeah, sand is very helpful. We can just jam this into like rocks, and it ends up not looking like a low poly model. Next, these are some cute cactuses. They're really cute.
I love these.
Our environment artists are leveling up really fast.
It's like a cactus family.
Yeah, a little baby one.
These would be on the back of the car, right?
Yeah. And next, and then this is how that shot looks, all zoomed out. As you can see, it just looks like kind of a mess with like things kind of leaned over. This is kind of a trick where as long as the composition, as long as Ajna can't jump above some of these compositions and some of these scenes, we can get away with a lot of the stuff outside of the focal point being all janky. And I think the next shot is just zoomed in again. So it's just kind of like a little magic trick there. Like everything looks kind of broken, but when it's in game, it looks really nice.
Yeah, a reminder that this is in game.
This is in game, yeah.
So, I didn't see this till like last week.
Wasn't there some other art also?
Yep.
That Alex worked really hard on?
Yep.
Awesome.
If my Alt key works. What the? Yes. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and figure out full screen. You can talk.
Thanks for showing this image.
Is that Irfan view?
Oh, yep. Enter. Hey.
All right. So one of the characters is Naga Rider, right?
Woo!
For the incarnations. I thought you could like reveal also some of the antagonists that are showing up in the game. Naga Rider, being a Naga, his rival is a Garuda Cruel. So that's that guy. He's giving him the bird, I suppose you could say. he's full of attitude. So there'll be like a lot of like villain characters in the game as well as of course a ton of the monsters. I think in one of the earlier updates we revealed one of the major villains, Ravanavar. So he's one of them, for example. And then Garuda Cruel is another antagonist that you'd run into in the game, particularly during the Taikrong area. And I guess that's Well, no, I mean so it's basically a jet versus a bike because of course Naga Rider, being a Kamen Rider homage, has a bike. It's his legless mount, as it could be called. It's like a psychic projection of a bike that he has, and he's fighting against the Garuda Cruel, who's being a bird creature, has more of a jet kind of motif to him. So this is like a kind of a little sneak peek, I guess, at the kind of thing you might see later on in the game. And
sorry, they weren't in any order.
Some other cryptic images of things, I guess you could say. This is the stuff that's in the teaser.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much more should mention.
I don't know if we should talk about it.
Yeah.
They should just be like
just
teaser
savor
images.
these images and just speculate on it.
You don't know what any of this is.
This is, as I mentioned before, Ravanavar. So he's one of the major antagonists that you run into. One of the first guys. Yeah. So he's got that kind of thing going on.
Should we just show and let them?
What's the third one? Oh yeah, and then this is another antagonist that you'll run into in the game. So we have different regions throughout the game of based on different places of the world. So this is more like in the Mesoamerica's inspired area. So.
It's not Venus, I promise.
All right, and
that's it.
I think that's That
okay.
was just a sneak peek.
I did it.
Some of the stuff you can expect to see.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to spend a couple minutes on here. Who here pre-ordered the Skullgirls physical edition? All right, to all of you guys, I'm so sorry that it's taken so long. But it is still happening, so please be reassured that it's happening. We keep having to fix bugs, and the whole idea with the physical version is that we want it to not have to be patched. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, I can talk about this.
Okay, I won't then.
No, go for it.
Go ahead, that's fine.
Oh, I was just going to mention, so where it actually is right now is I was telling people at the booth this. So on my keychain, on this USB drive is the image for the physical version. However,
Someone's gonna steal that off of you.
it won't matter. You can't.
Like-
it won't matter. You can't
Wait.
play it anyway. And it's
Just so they can
passworded and
delay it
encoded,
further?
whatever. Yeah.
Don't
Nope,
do-
sorry,
please
someone
don't
stole
steal
my
that.
keychain. We're out of it.
Yeah.
No.
Someone
So what
buy it or
happened was, in Sony's internal system, games are marked as digital or physical or both, and in order to patch a game, you have to submit a patch that's the same type as the game was. So we have to patch the digital version with the final patch so it can go on the disc. And what Sony did was they changed the sorry, I'm gonna do that. They changed the game from digital to digital and physical because we're going to make a CD. So we can't submit the patch that needs to go on the CD. So we have to wait for them to turn it back to digital so that we can submit the digital patch so they can make it digital and physical again so we can submit the CD.
You mean Blu-ray?
Which apparently is a problem that's never happened before. Just like everything else. So that's actually like what is currently going on with the physical version. It is all done. We are waiting for this.
So as you can tell, all of this like hassle that we've been going through to get it out is all stuff that neither we nor the end consumer cares about. So
Yep.
we apologize for having such a sort of unsatisfying explanation for why it's taken so long. But please trust that it's coming. Don't worry.
Yep. We also have wangled, is wangled the right word for this? That everybody who pre-ordered it is also going to get a bonus item. So, you want to, should I actually tell them what it is?
Check our Twitter for art for that. I don't think we have it here, but
Yeah.
we'll show it off. So it'll be nice. We understand everybody's been super patient and understanding, and rightly pissed off. We have
Yeah.
been too. So hang tight. Yay. Okay, now we can do Q&A.
We did it.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it looks like we got a mic here. Just line up with your questions. We have until, I believe, we got about 20 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Before you start,
Hey, welcome again.
you have come to every panel we have had at Anime Expo.
Oh my God.
So
You look awesome.
I have a present. I had to guess your size. I have both a medium and a small, so. You're a small? Okay, let me get the small.
For those who can't see, she's getting a Lab Zero shirt. Because she's been to every single panel and she dresses up as our characters all the time. She's the best.
Yes. So, you are an honorary staff member.
That's pretty dope. You got one before me, by the way, so that's pretty sweet.
You got one before Max did, so.
Oh, really? Max, are you a medium?
Yeah.
Here.
All right, just slightly before. Okay.
I was wondering, will there be any exclusive content to the Switch version?
Somebody want to take that? I think generally our policy is that we don't want to exclude people who get certain versions. So that's kind of against what we want to do. But I don't know what the official word is.
The official word is unless Nintendo makes us, probably not.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be portable.
Sure.
Thank
I
you.
mean, as someone who played lots of console games with exclusive content, it's more annoying than anything else because, like, man, I had to buy all the different console versions of
Yeah.
Soul Calibur. Like,
Oh yeah, Link, Heihachi, Spawn.
yeah, Spawn, Link, come on.
Nobody remembers Hihachi.
Like Yoda.
Is he like the best one?
Yoda
though?
Oh, yeah, I
he was the
forgot.
best one. Oh no, wait, Link was actually.
Go for it.
Alright. So I know how hella hype the addition of Beowulf and Skullgirl Mobile is, but when are we gonna bring back the OG Skullgirls mobile game that is Skullgirls 2 Deadly Airport, or at least have a reference to it?
Obviously, you didn't play the mobile game then, huh?
Dang, no shaming our questioners.
Sorry.
There is a reference to it in Skullgirls Mobile. There's a peacock move called Deadly Airport that launches many airplanes at your opponent. Many airplanes.
Sorry, I don't mean peacock.
It's okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks. This is why they don't let me talk.
Hi, so this is a question about Indivisible's voice acting in general. So all the characters obviously have lines that are in English, but are they also going to have lines that are in the language that the character would normally speak based on where they're from?
Well, Indivisible takes place in a fictional world, so I think we would have to be writing new languages to do that.
Well, that's not hard.
You want to come help?
Udner Fixpaga. Done.
So I would say right now the answer would be that it's just in English for the English version. I don't know if we're doing like other entire language versions.
Do you want to answer language stuff?
There has been some talk about doing fake language lyrics for the opening song and for Ajna's theme and the main theme and all that. So that might be something to see, but I don't think you'll see it in the game.
That was a really good question.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I guess since it's a made-up world, you just think it's English, right? Like it just happens to sound like
language
English.
that we understand.
It's basically like how in any anime or like movie or pretty much anything, most of the time it's just kind of a given that every character, no matter if they're an alien or from another country or something, just speaks the language that the audience understands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So-
If you remember Metal Gear Solid 3, I think everybody's technically talking in Russian, but even though it's English,
Right.
yeah.
There are parts in the game that have like a fake language like element to it. Like it'll evoke like a certain alphabet that might be reminded of, but it's technically its own thing. So we put that in there. Yeah.
Go for it.
Hi, so I had a question about for both the Schoolgirls Mobile and normal Schoolgirls staff. When is Minette gonna be a playable character? I've been asking for years.
You mean playable or something?
Yeah, playable.
Playable.
When was Minette?
She's got a job, dude.
Yeah, she's busy. Yeah.
She can spend all her time fighting.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm looking at you.
Keep playing the game, and we've talked about wanting to do new characters, but we aren't announcing who that would be if we do it. But if we can support the game and keep going, we got to get the other characters in first. There's still the rest of the core Skullgirls casting it in. So
Squiggly.
yeah, we're on Beowulf, and we're gonna get the rest in there. So hopefully someday.
Keep your fingers crossed and keep playing.
Tell your friends. Make them download it.
Please tell everyone about Skullgirls Mobile.
Yep.
Okay, you said you're going to include a story mode for Peacock and go into her lore, and I wanted to know if that lore will extend over onto her friend Marie.
Do you mean like will the story cover the interaction between the two of them?
Yes.
I think if I remember right for it'll cover like where Peacock came from. Do you wanna?
I mean, you can talk about it a little bit.
I guess like
How much to spoil?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always like on the fence about this kind of stuff.
You can just say yes or no.
But yeah, you'll learn more about Peacock and Marie. Yeah. Yeah.
Chances are good.
Yeah.
Science point to yes.
Yep.
I want to say your costume is awesome, by the way.
Thank you very much. So this is a question directed to Mariel. So I believe you did a panel at GDC about animation in video games or traditional animation in video games. So do you have any tips or any common mistakes for young animators to avoid for successful snappy animations?
Specifically for game animators?
Yes.
One thing I always find is like when you start animating a game character, you want to start with their idle animation, and then everything comes from and then goes back to that idle animation. But I find that this is a mistake that I've made before. You really want to keep the idle in mind as you animate everything else, and if your idle is itself a motion, you need to take that motion into consideration as you're animating everything around it. So you don't want to have your animations kind of like stop and then like start animating again, you know, when you go back to the idle. So I think kind of being aware of like how your animations flow into each other kind of helps make it more fluid. And I think, you know, in games like Skullgirls, we're cutting out frames anyways, just because that's what the gameplay needs. So it's kind of inevitable that it's going to look, you know, choppy in some places. But I think that's, you know, making sure that everything flows when they do play out helps a lot. I don't know, what else? Do you have any specific questions?
No, that's actually a lot of very helpful already.
Okay, yeah,
She also
sure.
has a pretty good talk on GDC on the interwebs, I think.
Oh yeah, that's the one she was referencing. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. I
Thank
give it to
you.
all my classmates and everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I have a question for everyone on the panel. Fun question, promise. I found when you guys first announced Indivisible that it was really awesome that you kind of smushed two genres together, and I was really excited to have a platforming RPG in my life that that wasn't like on the DS or something really out there. And I was wondering for everyone on the panel if you could smush any two different genres of gaming together without consequence, what would it be?
Music and fighting.
Nice. Nice.
Same.
Yeah, actually. Let's do that.
Yeah, all right. Done.
Who is it, me? I want to smash Burning Rangers together with Jet Set Radio.
Nice.
Oh man, I don't know. I just want more Harvest Moon, actually. That's it.
One genre?
Yeah, just one.
Mine's actually already been made. It's platforming and puzzle, Henry Hatsworth.
That's a cool game. That's a very cool game.
Yeah, so.
Thanks for the rec.
Mine's already been done.
I want to say music and shmup, but I think there are a few takes on that, sort of. Yeah. How about you?
Shmup and RPG.
Play Tyrion.
With Pokemon.
With Pokemon? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have one?
I think we should make a musical ARG.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, so this is a question for all you guys. So pretty much now that you're announcing your release date for Indivisible next year on fall, and you're almost pretty much done with Skullgirls now that you put it to the mobile gaming end. I want to ask is, at next year's AX, will there be a chance that you'll be announcing any new projects on your way?
I mean, I guess there's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Pretty much, we are trying to be heads down on Indivisible until it's done. We will be considering other things. I don't know whether we will be announcing them. I also don't know whether it'll be the thing that you're probably thinking about. Also, in complete honesty, we never have any idea what we're going to talk about at the panel. So, like, you asking us now what's going to be next year is like, I don't know, what am I going to have for dinner that day? It's about as...
All right, I understand.
But I appreciate the question.
I mean, this kind of gets into some of the business kind of stuff. So, I mean, part of my job is to keep looking for projects to keep the team employed. There's been some talk with 505 about doing extended support for Indivisible as well, which might serve as a thing also. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. We also have all the guest characters, so.
All right, so we'll be still working on that at that time.
Yep.
We're going to be busy for a long time.
Keep those fingers crossed.
Sleep is a dream.
But you can only dream when you sleep.
Okay, sorry. Hi, two stupid questions. One, will you do an animation for the Skullgirl and Indivisible if Indivisible proves successful? And two, will you add Shantae to Skullgirl if there's going to be a sequel or in the mobile? Since wait for our interest into that.
Did you mean an animation like show?
Yes, TV
Okay.
series.
I was just clarifying.
We have actually been in talks with some studios about animations for both Skullgirls and Indivisible. Hollywood is a fickle mistress, so I would not expect anything to happen, honestly.
How about
but
Netflix?
we've at least started the process and are looking into it.
We may be telling stories in the universe in another format though soon with our partner currently. So something we're working on with some comic stuff.
Wow. That was really cryptic. Nice work.
As for the Shantae question in Skullgirls, while that would be super cool and we love crossover characters, we only have a limited amount of bandwidth to put characters in, and we already have a huge list of characters we would want to put into Skullgirls. So she might, if that ever happened, she would have to take a backseat to some of the ones that a lot of people, including us, have been waiting to put in. So.
Also, if you've never dealt with licensing is a whole thing.
Anyway, thank you.
Okay, maybe Fila. Maybe Fila with the skin of her.
Maybe.
What's up? My hair looks terrible.
Looks good, man.
Hey, your shirt's cool,
It's okay,
though. You have a cool
Steven.
shirt.
Don't worry.
Fair enough. For everyone who's working on Indivisible, comfort level, whatever you want to talk about, what's been the most challenging part of working on Indivisible?
Cons.
Okay. I apologize.
Okay, everybody else can go.
Well, just the sheer number of things, I guess, like having to deal with, like, you know, obviously we have like a lot more level to worry about. We have more story to worry about. We have more we have monsters and more characters, and just like the sheer number of things is just higher for this genre compared to any game. Right. So I would say that would be a major part of it.
I mean, like compared to Skullgirls, we would work on one character at a time, one level at a time, and the entire team was putting all their time into that one thing. This, oh my god. Characters, monsters, environments, story, level design, all the gameplay features,
Sound,
the
cutscenes.
sound cutscenes, the programming backend, buffing up our editor. It's just
Oh yeah, you actually have to have an editor.
yeah. There's so many moving parts, and we're still making this, you know, on a really tight schedule. Like is it 2 years? How long is the entire development?
2 years.
Yeah, like 2 years seems like a long time, but this game is so much bigger and more ambitious than Skullgirls. It's just like everything's happening at once all the time. So. Eesh.
My answer is working with Mike Z. No.
Wow.
You stole mine. No, it's definitely. It's
That
definitely
was all
the
of our
scope.
answers.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
It's definitely the scope of it. Like Mariel said, it's just so much bigger than Skullgirls.
I'm just gonna cry. Don't worry.
We love him.
I still love you, Mike. Don't
His
worry.
jokes aren't that bad.
No.
I love you. I love you.
Not all the time.
Well, thanks for answering, and thank you for making good games.
Thank
Steven.
you.
Hi there.
Hello.
This is more a question for Brady or maybe everyone who kind of works on clarity in making Indivisible.
You say
first
clarity?
Yeah, clarity, just
Okay.
like making everything like immediately obvious, I guess.
Mhm. Sure.
They're kind of two questions, but they all sort of the same thing.
Go
One
ahead.
is are you guys considering like making an option to change the colors of the orbs? They look really good, but one of the things I was thinking about was it'd be cool if they could correspond to the color of the face buttons. That was what I was kind of thinking as I was playing the demo.
Oh, so we're looking into palletizing the orbs, and I think we're going to try and figure out what the best way to go about it is, if it's going to be the face button colors, or if it's going to be in reference to some other piece of UI. Right now, we just picked 4 good colors that we thought would pop and help you be able to differentiate each character, but we're still honestly actually exploring. I mean, we were talking earlier this week about like exactly how we're going to go about that, and like with everything in the UI, we experiment with it, and if it doesn't work, we try something else. So we'll figure out how to make it especially obvious what buttons correspond to which character.
Yeah, there's also including the button in the pips, and the Xbox colors are pretty bright, and the Sony colors are kind of bland. So like it would look really weird if we did that, but we're looking at different ways to let you know. Yes.
The second part was Do you guys think about, or are you guys gonna think about like colorblind options? I guess.
Yes.
For some of
Yes.
the-
Yeah. 100%.
Yep.
We did that for Skullgirls as well.
Yep.
So
There's actually a really cool colorblind shader too, that like separates the color channels out. So we're looking at that.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Hi. In games with large casts, it's frustrating to have all these cool characters with great concepts and designs, but no mechanical reason to use them as you're progressing through the game. What can we look forward to in Indivisible that will encourage us to vary our party composition instead of just settling on the first few that we recruit?
Oh man, thank you. I'll give you your $15 later.
Mike's seeing his crazy ideas and all his awesome ideas, honestly.
Yeah. So one of the things that we are doing very specifically with respect to character design is making sure that everybody is unique. Like everybody has something that no one else in the entire game has. So there won't be anybody who's a better version of someone else. There won't be anybody who's interchangeable. I mean, I love Valkyrie Profile, but all the mages are the same. So yeah, like Ginseng is a healer of a certain type. There's somebody else who's going to be basically pure support. Some people are offensive, some people are defense. I mean, I'm offensive. Some people are defensive. I guess I can be defensive too. But yeah, like everybody is designed from the get-go to be completely different from everybody else, which is really difficult with this many characters. But in some cases, it means reserving a mechanic for somebody specific. In some cases, it means making sure that if two people have fire, it behaves differently from each one and has different uses from each one. But like, yeah, that's the main thing that I'm trying to do with the characters.
That sounds very
Like,
cool.
since we don't have equipment, or you know, swords and armor and whatever, it's basically your party is your equipment. So you might need to add different characters to overcome some certain obstacle. But like, I want to make sure that you have to change it up.
Cool. That sounds great. Thank you.
Hello. This is kind of a two-part question. The first part is, can you tell us how many party members you can have throughout the game and what the interaction between the main character and those characters is going to be? Like on a scale from just incredibly basic interaction to, say, for example, Fire Emblem support system, how deep is the interaction between characters going to be?
I can't actually tell you how many because I don't remember.
I don't
That's
remember
fair.
either.
Yeah, like it's
We're
more
saying
than
around,
20.
We're saying around 24.
Yeah. I just remember more than 20. As far as interactions with the main character go, you mean gameplay-wise, I assume, or story?
Both.
Okay.
Did you play Fire Emblem?
Which one?
Well, you know, you can talk to the characters and develop relationships with them.
Yeah. I
So-
mean,
So not Fire Emblem level, but every character does have, you know, their own story that Ajna is going to have to kind of go out and you know, do their quest and kind of like learn their story. It's not just going to be force-fed to you, but yeah, it's not going to be like as in-depth as something like Fire Emblem, because I guess those games kind of revolve around that concept. But everyone we have in the game does have their own story that is there for you to go out and learn.
yeah. I also want to stress that picking up characters like you do in the prototype and the backer beta isn't how it's going to work. That's just, we have to do that because we don't have cutscenes yet.
Right.
Also, I guess I'll add just some characters will have a more prominent role in the story than others. We're about 50-50 critical path and optional characters.
Mhm.
Optional characters will have less involvement in the story, but they'll have their personal stories and quests and all of that. And the other characters will serve kind of like, now in Chrono Trigger, each time period has kind of a main character that serves as your cipher for that area or for that time period and tells you what's going on. And so each region of the game will have characters that are like that as well.
All right, thank you very much. Very excited to play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrew, or Blue, and I was wondering, feel free to kind of maybe take a stab at your coworkers with this, but I was wondering, is there anything you've ever had where you're like, you made a character for the game or a concept, and you're like, this is really cool, guys, I want this in the game, and then everybody else is like, no, that's a horrible idea, shoot, go on, we don't want that. And then like you still want that idea, and secretly like even looking at the game now are kind of like, oh, I want this character to be in there, but they never really got past your initial pitch of ideas.
That's just how concept creation is. Like 80% of it is thrown away,
Do
basically.
you have any like favorites that you still kind of?
Hubrecht.
Oh, are you talking
Never
about?
mind.
Are you talking about?
He's
for
talking about Indivisible. I'm
Indivisible?
making a joke. Don't worry about it.
Well, I think like a lot of the major ones, we would really try to like boil it down to like, all right, what are the most essential characters that would be really cool and important for the story and for what we want to make sure the voice of the game is. So those ones, most of them have been preserved. There's always, of course, going to be the wayside ones, but what's kind of funny is like after it develops in its own way, you look back at those and you're like, oh, they wouldn't have fit, or oh, I forgot that character existed. But sometimes there's other opportunities for like, oh, they could be an NPC, or there could be a reference to it, or it kind of benefits in an indirect way of like allowing like the ability to build a lot of the background filler of the world, but the core of it's something that we make sure to preserve.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the name of the game and concept. It's like you're just coming up with kind of as many concepts as you can, and only so many of them can go in. I think that's just something that you kind of have to learn to accept.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean your idea is a bad idea. It's just maybe it doesn't serve the current needs.
Purpose, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if that's something that happens to you, you just keep it in your head and see where else it would better fit.
It's also on a broader level, just in terms of working in game development on a team. Is being married to an idea is kind of poisonous, because if you're like really inflexible about a particular idea, then it's really hard to collaborate with others who have a lot of serious opinions about how it should work in the game. And being flexible about those things. I mean, you can obviously hold that idea and use it for something else some other day, but being able to kind of pivot and be willing to have your child idea grow into something else entirely that you wouldn't have expected is part of the process, and just something you need to get used to.
I mean, working in a team, collaboration is the name of the game. So like essentially like when you come up with an idea, people are not going to be like, oh, this is terrible. They're going to say, well, what about this instead? Or they'll try to improve it. Like at the end of the day, everybody wants to make a good game. So it's in our best interest to try to improve things instead of just outright reject everything.
Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes, so we're going to take 3 more questions. Okay.
And it's going to be the person who's next, Eliza, and the person who's last.
I want to say thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, I was just wondering.
Sorry.
Does Kadira's brother have a name?
Rich?
No.
Not yet.
Thank
not
you.
Not that we can say.
No.
Yes, but he didn't tell anyone.
I have a question regarding Skullgirls, and it's probably going to make everybody cringe, but I'm really into the lore of it. And so my question was, is Double actually the mother of Venus and Anne, or is Double just kind of like a re-representation of Mother?
Wow.
It's the second one mostly. Yeah. She's not actually the mother character, but it's not a coincidence necessarily that she resembles her.
Now my question is that kind of how does she repeat how Mother would feel? Because when she actually confronts Eliza in the story mode, she screams at her for killing her children. Is she like a piece of Mother, or is she actually just like that whole re-representation type of thing?
It's like I guess you could say it's like her shadow in a sense, or like a piece of her. I guess you could probably put it that way or something like that. I wonder if that's saying too much though. But I can't even tell like how much of this will eventually be explained later on anyway. But and also how much like Kent will kill me for saying any of this. But but yeah, it's effectively like a fragment of her. The actual Mother character hasn't been specifically shown yet, but it's like something kind of crazy. But I'll just leave it at that for now. But yeah, it's just a fragment of her, basically. So
All right, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
You're the last question, so make it awesome.
All right, I'm going to go ballsy on this one and ask for 3.
I should have picked somebody else.
2 minutes,
All right,
go.
don't worry. Number 1, how are you guys?
Doing
good. How are
Thank
you?
Tired.
Okay, that's one of them.
I'm hungry.
I understand.
Hungry. Yeah.
Number 2, how hard is it to create a computer programming game? So because I'm trying to become one myself.
You're trying to become a computer programming game?
That's a little hard, right?
Yeah.
That's probably really difficult, yeah.
Like I'm